can, go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shannon Confidential. I am Shannon, your host, and Shannon Confidential is a podcast about life, love, and everything in between. And today's in between is going to be about healing. You're going to meet Monica Garcia. In 2018, she started a nonprofit called Love Yourself Foundation, and she teaches people how to love yourself, how to take care of your community, your environment, the earth. I mean, it's really about healing. She also has an accredited holistic career. She's a life coach. She is just absolutely fantastic. She has a podcast. She does events where people come and everybody heals together. She really is just a tremendous light in the community. And I cannot wait for all of you to meet her. Up next is Monica Garcia. Okay, everybody, here she is, Monica Garcia. This is the woman, the light, the joy, the healer, the environmental guru. She's amazing. She does so much for her community, and you are now going to get a chance to meet her, how she came about this. So Monica, thank you for being on Shannon Confidential. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Shannon.
Absolutely. Now, I know we had our intro call, so I've heard a lot about you, and I know I have a lot of questions, but I want the viewers, the listeners, for them to learn your backstory, what brought you here, and we'll go from there because you are an incredible person. So you now have the floor, Monica.
Thank you. Sure. So I'm the founder and the director of a nonprofit called Love Yourself Foundation. Love Yourself Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit. We got our designation last year, so we're really, really excited for that. But founded it in 2018. So this month, actually in July, LIF turns 4. So
happy birthday, anniversary.
Yes. So it's definitely been a beautiful journey, a hard journey, but one that I'm always really grateful to be doing. The inspiration behind the nonprofit was a long story, but more so, for a while, I was rethinking environmentalism and kind of looking at the world from a different lens. And a lot of it was inspired by my own story of overcoming various mental health issues, struggles. Back in 2016, 2017, I went through probably the deepest depression I've ever had. And through that time period, I was really looking for answers, and I didn't really, and to each their own. But for me personally, I did not want to just resort to taking medication and not, understand what was really a deeper meaning, right? So got into therapy and started. I had already had a yoga practice, but got even deeper in that. Meditation, I had already journaled, but again, got deeper in a lot of the things that I was already doing to really understand. And again, therapy helping me a bunch. But in 2017, as I was going through my healing process and really figuring myself out in a different way, I started to rethink the state of the world when it comes to our relationship with the planet. And I started to kind of connect the dots in a different way. And I just had this moment of awareness that I thought to myself, man, if a lot of us can't take care of ourselves or don't know how can we expect people to want to treat the planet better? So from that day forward, my focus shifted to wanting to help individuals, and really at that point have the ripple that by us loving ourselves more, we'll have the capacity to have be more active in our community, have better relationships, and then ultimately have a more conscious relationship with the planet. And my background, I went to school for environmental studies and sociology. So I had a minor in solar and renewable energy. So I did a lot.
Incredible. I don't even know what that is.
So yeah, I did a lot when it came to like environmental sustainability. Did a lot of different like activism work and programming, and I worked at the university in Vegas. I did a lot, again, focusing on the environment. But after I went through all that, my and got the inspiration to start the nonprofit, again, everything shifted. And so now I'm more people focused, but at the same time, like really still connecting the dots for folks. And as a result of this work, I also received a holistic life and career coach certification through an ICF school. I'm also credentialed as a psychosocial rehab worker with Medicaid. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and I have, more things that I want to add on eventually, but that's what I'm doing. And currently I work with people that are also going through recovery. So going through drug and alcohol recovery, folks that have experienced homelessness too. And then I also work with people that just want to maybe build up their leadership skills, confidence. Yeah. So I feel in a nutshell, in a small little nutshell,
That's a big nutshell. So is all that done through Love Yourself Foundation, or do you do some of that coaching in every off as a side?
I do it right now on the side. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, the nonprofit work. Eventually, we want, when we have more funding, our vision is to build more programs similar to the work that I'm doing now. But yeah, we're not there yet. But yeah, so I do all this other stuff separately. Mm-hmm.
So you tell us, with this huge resume of what you're doing, you have the nonprofit, the podcast, the events, your side, I say side job, but it's actually your job that you're trying to incorporate into everything.
Mm-hmm.
You start where you're comfortable. You have so many wonderful things to talk about. I'm going to let you start, and then I'll throw in my questions.
Sure. Again, I have those credentials, so I work with, yeah, I can work with people that are, again, going through recovery, wanting recovery. And then I also, again, when it comes to expanding leadership skills, mentoring, that sort of, like a coach, if you just need like that extra support system for yourself, I can do that. And the best way to contact me is, I think, just through my email. So do you want me to share the email, Shannon?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
pop it up after with a graphic as well.
Sure. My email is monica.garcia@the lyfoundation.org.
The LY Foundation,
Yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. So do you have a title for your business as far as your therapeutic work and your coaching work?
So currently I work with different companies. So I work with clients with different, within different companies, but I'm actually am in the process of launching my own website too, and working more under my name. So until that's launched, yeah, the best way right now is to contact me through that email. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. With the world gone a little bit crazy over the past couple of years and people being locked down, we do hear that people that are suffering with different mental illnesses, or not even illnesses, some people are dealing with home issues or relationship issues, and then being in this lockdown. You being so versed and so well educated in this area, do you see an increase in the need for mental health and support for people because of what's going on around them?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. These past 2 years and going, right, it's been challenging to say the least. And, folks have experienced an array of changes, both changes that maybe they did see coming, or ones that not at all. And right. And as human beings, whenever our environment is disrupted, we panic. It's like it's embedded in how we're designed. So it's, even me too, right? These past couple of years have been really hard, and it's just learning to adapt and really, I think, just honing in on yourself and building that strength within while getting help. I can't emphasize that enough, that for folks that think that they might need help, definitely get help. I really don't, as humans, we're social creatures. We need one another. And it's hard sometimes, especially as like in the US, right? Like the society here can sometimes feel very individualized and very isolating. So that can be difficult. But despite that, we are, again, human, and humans, we need one another. So again, can't emphasize to get that help for sure.
But the support is huge. I know I have friends, family that have come so far over many, many years, not just because of what's going on around us today, but, just throughout life. And that support system, and that the ability, the strength, the courage, however you want to word it, to reach out and get help, and put the judgment, put the guilt, put the fear aside, and really, really try to better yourself and your life. I've seen the most incredible people come out of that. And I just truly believe in what you're saying. I've seen the results, and yeah, people need to work on themselves, and they'll be better for it. I truly believe
100%. Absolutely.
So, like a lot of people I have interviewed on Shannon Confidential, they have something in their past. Sometimes it's not pleasant, could be dark, but they come through it, and they come through it in the most glorious way by, developing a foundation or starting a company. But what I have seen over and over again, and this just makes me believe so much in humanity and our souls of who we are, they do something that they've learned from whatever they went through, and they're paying it forward in a different way. And this is, I'd imagine, how the Love Yourself Foundation started. So I commend you first for being able to do that, the thought to do it and to pay it forward, not just become an individual or to hide. And it's an incredible foundation. So can you explain to everybody what Love Yourself Foundation is and everything that you do within that foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. So the nonprofit, the skeleton of it, again, was inspired by my healing and overcoming all the things that I was faced with. And to touch a little bit more on that, I not only during that time I went through depression, but I also had a near-death experience. And then after that, that provoked a lot of anxiety and PTSD and pretty crippling panic attacks. So it was a very, like you said, the very difficult time. And as I was healing and getting the inspiration, to start this nonprofit, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to frame it around what's helped me. And I'm thinking that that's what's going to help other people too, or hopefully. Right. And then because of my past programming, campaigning, and activism work, I was like, well, I've been doing this, so I think I can do this. So, start something from scratch. It was really hard.
I can imagine.
And so that's kind of where that all came from. Just bringing my past work experience forward. And like I said, just framing it around what helped me. So art and music was instrumental and is still, right? Because the healing process is always ongoing. So, but yeah, art and music are huge parts of the nonprofit. What we offer currently is we do a lot of content, free content. So we have on our website, we have a blog, we have our podcast. On our social media, we have just content that's coming out almost daily, inspirational and of sorts. And then we do different events right now, primarily in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we do different events all again around music and meditation and just bring community. The big focus with the events that we do is to help people realize that it's okay to be not okay, right? And that
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And so just that you can come in union with others and come together with other people, and we're all human, we're all going through something, but we can still come together and be together. And again, we do it a lot through art and music. But other things that we do is we'll do workshops. We'll go to here in town, we've had the opportunity now to help facilitate some workshops for different companies for their team. We've gone to schools,
like team building, confidence building, that type of, or is it geared towards each company, whatever they're looking for?
Yeah, along those lines, sometimes meditation focus, sometimes like just motivation. And again, just helping put people, especially we've done a lot with hospitality since it's Vegas. So a lot of with various hospitality companies here, and they're always so busy, right? Like working so much, and just to help a little reminder for their team that it's okay to slow down and take time for yourself. And of course, it's not just for hospitality, right? That a lot that can happen in any industry. So but eventually, as we build more funding, as that's our hope, is that to build out more programming. So programming where we would offer coach and therapy services, programming where we would help artists with their career, but also make it where we're offering again therapy, coaching, different camps that we would like to produce for youth. So we have so many things. We just, as the funding increases, hopefully we can start doing that.
Yes. So if you are listening out there and you really just want to take your funds and put it to something positive that's going to benefit people, our community, our planet, this is the girl you want to contact. And I'll make sure everything you talk about today, Monica, not only will I put graphics up, but I'll make sure it's below us in the show notes. So everybody is just a click away from finding you. Awesome. I know you talked about, the different things that you do as far as helping the environment. What does your program do environmentally?
Yeah, so we're beginning to start offering and wanting to participate more in cleanups. Thinking about potentially to like adopting like a trail to be able to again do more cleanups there locally. But eventually, as we build out to more of our programming, what I envision is proceeds like going toward maybe another environmental nonprofit, and perhaps like a nonprofit that focuses more, or a company or whatever, right? Any organization that maybe they're dedicated to planting trees. So sometimes what I envision is that the proceeds that we get will be able to pay it forward and contribute in that way. We also want to our intentions to partner with different sustainable companies. So an example I can give you is if we like partnering with the Hydro Flask company. That's something I would love to do, things like that.
What is that? Eventually, I've not heard of that.
What was that?
What the company you just mentioned? I haven't heard of that. What is that?
Hydro Flask is a reusable water company, a reusable water bottle company, and they're great. Like their bottles are amazing. So they do really good work for the environment and eliminating plastic bottle waste. And yeah, so they're awesome. Eventually I want to be able to create our events zero waste. So just again, as funding increases, we'll be able to do more.
Well, your dreams sound magnificent. So if someone were to want to contact the Love Yourself Foundation, is it a location? Is it just online? Is it a place that they could go? Describe that.
Sure. We don't have a physical office, not yet. So the best way is our website. So it's thelyfoundation.org. And then there's like a little contact me box that people can write us to. So that's the best way. My intention with LYF too is LYF Love Yourself Foundation. LYF is that I've always envisioned it to be like a global resource. So even though right now, like our home base is Vegas, but so much of what we do is online. And eventually I would love to be able to do more things across the US and different countries. So, things are still building, and it's still a baby org, but the dreams are there.
That's adorable. Baby org. Well, kudos to you. You are plugging away, trying to build this. It's needed. It is so needed right now, Monica. People like you are needed. Your programs are needed. I hope that this lands in the right ears, that you can find that additional funding that help to grow and to then just help people worldwide. That's what we need to do, is throw our arms around each other. When you do your therapy or any work like that, you say you through music, is this these meetings that they can log into? Is this over the phone? How do they get, assisted by you and the people involved in your program?
Yeah. So, I mean, if people were curious to check out our events and they're not in Vegas, we do stream them. So we were doing them on Twitch and now we're doing them mainly on Instagram. So when we do produce our events, we do stream them. But again, the best way to get in touch with us is through our website for sure.
Okay. So do you, when you meet with somebody, counsel them or coach them, is it visual? Is it over the phone? If they're local, is it face to face? Or do you do all three?
Yeah, so for locals, it definitely give them the choice if they want it to be in person. So, but I also do coaching online. So it
Okay.
can be on Google Meet, on Zoom, on phone call.
Whatever they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Because I know a lot of people, they might be, they find that comfort zone and being able to speak to somebody, but they just might not want, when you're going through something really hard, having that visual presence is very intimidating. So the fact
Yeah,
that you offer the ability to just be a voice for those who, when that's all that they're ready for, is wonderful. You give options to people at whatever point of healing they're at the moment or want
sure.
to start. So that's fantastic. I know you say you have you do also with music. Now, is this something they listen to, something you offer them the music? How does the music get incorporated with your foundation?
Yeah, so at our events primarily and workshops, we'll do a lot of what they're called sound bath meditations. So, for those that maybe aren't aware of what that is, perhaps people have seen what they call like singing bowls. So they use that as it's a more of a meditative way of using music to enhance
That when they go,
meditation.
the bowls.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and they're called singing bowls. So we always start our events with that, with some form of music and meditation. And then at the event that we do that we've been doing now for a while, we also incorporate an open mic, so giving people an opportunity to perform or just share, something of maybe with something they've been working on. And then we always showcase different up and coming artists from the Vegas community. So we'll feature different local musicians. Um, and and then the messaging, like throughout the evening, like we'll have our different hosts just bringing to light our mission and talking about that and self-love. And every month we have a different theme too,
Okay.
that we incorporate on our content that we produce. And then we also incorporate it at our events. So as an example, this month, July, our theme is daring. So just helping people kind of get out of their comfort zone or rethinking things, maybe something they've been wanting to do, for a while and just haven't had the courage to do it. So so yeah, and so yeah, so every month we have a different theme. And again, we do a lot through art, music, and writing. So a lot of expression, because a lot of times um I think people have a lot inside them and maybe just don't know exactly how to express it.
That is
And
like coming out. Yeah.
yeah. And so I really believe like through art creativity, it's such a great way to allow yourself to unleash, whatever is inside you.
Yeah. Your events, are they a weekend, a day?
They're usually, yeah, we usually do them in they're evening events. And then in the future, we've been wanting to do like weekend long or more like festival type of events too. So in the future for sure. But for right now, they've been monthly and then we do them again in the evenings.
Okay. So I know you don't have an actual facility for your foundation. So how is the location the same spot every time? And I would imagine because you're in Las Vegas, Nevada, that they're in that area right now. Where are they? Or do they
Sure.
change?
Yeah, so the one that I was describing, that one is held at this place called Ferguson's downtown. It's a venue that was made a couple years ago now. It has a really nice outdoor stage. It feels like a little oasis, especially in Vegas when it's
Yeah.
always so hot. So yeah, it's a great location. We did just start a brand new event too, which is called The Good Life. And the intention with this event is actually more of a nightlife type of event. And we're doing that intentionally to meet people that maybe we normally wouldn't. And the music that we're primarily playing at that event are DJs that specialize in funk music. And again, this is our attempt again to meet people that we normally wouldn't. So maybe folks that just don't know, maybe where to start, in their journey. And so again, I'm a firm believer in meeting people where they are. And again, I think through music, it's a really wonderful way to meet people and really engage with people. So that event, we've done it twice this year, and we'll do it again in the fall.
And all of the information, the dates, your locations, the availability, and how to even contact you, not only attend, but to participate, maybe be a host, a performer, a writer, a speaker, is all on your website?
Yes.
Okay. And again, everybody, if you're listening or watching, I will make sure graphics go up. It will be below us in the show notes. Everything Monica and help related that she's talking about today will be below us in the show notes. So first, I want to thank Ferguson's for helping you and the events that you're doing. It takes a community effort to put something like that on, and for them to open the doors to you. I commend companies that want to help. So good for them. I think what you all are doing is incredible. How many people are in your team doing this?
Yeah, so we have, I want to say about 15 right now. I'm so grateful for 2.5 years now. We've partnered with the university, with UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, through a couple of their internship programs that they have with different colleges. So we've had the opportunity to work with different students these past 2 years, and they've been huge in helping us as far as being able to produce as much content as we do, and at the same time helping them out, starting their careers. So it's been a wonderful exchange, and so grateful to UNLV.
Thank you, UNLV. I know I've run different fundraising events before, and it takes a small army. So to have 15 of you putting together multiple events, a foundation, a blog, a podcast, getting all of your website put together, built, and recording your content, you got to have the agenda to put your content together, putting your content together, putting it out so it's available for people to see, read, hear. That is a small army worth of work. And when you say you have 15 people doing it, and thank you for the university for offering interns, you have truly done fabulous with just 15 people. I hope you realize that.
Thank you. Yeah.
you have a vision, and nothing's going to stop you. If you could do all that with 15 people, my Lord, Monica, you are unstoppable. So is your blog kind of everything you do and people read about it? Tell us about your blog.
Yeah, our blog. And I definitely want to give a nice shout out to teammate Meme Mijares. She is our blog founder, and she drew a lot of inspiration from her past writing experience at the college that she went to too. But the idea with this is we give a lot of creative expression to our writers, and we do usually have them focused around the theme of the month to kind of portray it in their own way. But we do have another area on our blog that's called the Writer's Corner, talking more about writing specific topics, perhaps for the writer that might want to just enhance their skills. So when folks come on our blog, it's sometimes a lot of personal stories that the writers choosing to share to relate to the theme. And again, the idea to help people that are coming to the blog realize that you're not alone, and whatever you're going through, or at least seeing, hey, look, someone else went through that just like I did, or I am currently going through. So it's the blog. I see it a lot. It's like our online, it's just one online way of connecting with people that sometimes it might be even easier, right, for someone to read versus going somewhere, right, and going to an event. So I really think that I'm very grateful that I think everything that we do can touch someone based on their comfort level. So maybe for the person that's more introverted, they like our online stuff a little bit more, right? Or for the folks that are a little bit more extroverted, they can come out and hang out with us, in person. So it's a nice little variety.
I like that. So you have the blog, you have the foundation, you have the events. Add more to your list. You have the podcast. So tell us about all about your podcast.
Yeah. So the podcast, we have on there various people, primarily from Vegas, that I will interview. It doesn't have to be exclusive to Vegas, but just people that are either artists, musician, community leaders, just trying to something positive, right, with their expression. And then I'll sometimes go on there too and maybe talk about like by myself, and I'll talk about various topics, relating them to whatever might be going on in the world, or again to our theme. And then we also have another series on there that a couple other folks from my team lead. It's called The Conversation. And what they do is they'll bring up different, primarily mental health topics, and discuss it amongst themselves to kind of, again, bring more knowledge to it. So I feel like that series has been really wonderful also, because it's very approachable, because a lot of times all this stuff is really new, right? And to begin, I mean, I remember when I started my journey and all this, it can feel a little daunting. So just to be able to dial it back, and bring it to the ground level is very important. So
Thank you for your team. And the name of the podcast?
It's just called the Life Podcast, but LYF. So,
okay. And that can be found where?
That can be found on Apple, on Spotify, on our website.
And the website again, it'll be linked up, everybody. I think, I just think that's great. There's a few things that you've said that I truly believe in. First, there's a silence when it comes to openly speaking about anything that you might be going through. I don't want to call it a problem or an issue or an illness. It is what it is. And I don't want to title it. It's what you're going through. And you've said it more than one time. We all have something. We're all in this together. We truly are no different from each other. And the isolation that one could feel because of something negative they're going through personally, they shouldn't, because they're not alone. None of us are alone. And they need to, people like you and foundations like you, reminding people that they're not alone. They are not the only one going through this, and that there is help and there is support is so huge. And another thing that you had said was that the courage. And I think fear across the board, whether there's a mental aspect to it or you're ready for a promotion at work. Sometimes fear is so debilitating for people because they truly cannot see beyond that fear to where they could be successful or better, or where the whole life could open up. So I, again, want to commend, Love Yourself Foundation, the blog, the podcast, the events that you do, because it helps people come, and you refer to it as come out of your comfort zone, but come out of your comfort zone is walking out of that fear of your comfort zone. And I think that is so huge, because that's where so many people miss out on so much of their life.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, fear is debilitating. It takes courage. And when you have support like you and foundations like you can chip away at that fear, start building the confidence, the courage, whatever is the word that's best for you, and find happiness, find peace, find safety, security in the comfort and the help of others like you and what you do.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah, you are an incredible person. Now, I know you're accredited, you have degrees, you have abilities. Tell us about your background. I mean, it's pretty substantial, and you should be proud of it.
Thank you.
I know one thing that I mentioned was that you had you were a psychosocial rehabilitation worker. What is that?
Yeah, so that credential, it's through Medicaid, so that it lets me primarily work with companies that, again, work with Medicaid specifically. So usually how that works is that these companies it's no cost to people, right? When they're able to get these services. And as this worker, I am helping people understand their anxiety, understand ways to cope with whatever is maybe feeling a little bit debilitating. So really helping folks understand how to self-care pretty much, and how to get through anxiety and not let it run your life. Because I used to have a lot of anxiety, and there's still seasons in my life where the anxiety will increase, and it requires patience and slowing down and doing things that are good for you. So I think a lot of times too, like in this hyper consumer society that we're in, it can feel like people are machines and we're not. We're humans. So I just really like to emphasize how important self-care is, and how important it is to slow down and understand yourself. Um, so yeah, with that, that's kind of what I help people do, is build. But honestly, at the heart of it, just building a strong foundation with yourself, truly. And this is from someone coming. I had to learn. I was like, I went through a lot myself and had to learn the hard way too. So I've definitely grown a lot and healed a lot, but I'm always still learning as well, and I'm just happy to be able to help others too along the way.
It's just, I just love the positive message. I truly do. I can't get enough of it. I'm like a sponge for people that step up like you do, and make the world, and I say the world, make the world a better place, even if it's just one person at a time.
Mhm.
Because there's just not enough Monica's. So it makes me very happy and honored to take something so wonderful, something as grand as what you're doing, and someone so wonderful, and bring it out to people who would have maybe not known that this was an option or this existed, and hopefully it helps them. You just want to make the world a better place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, especially as the world is kind of crazy, and it still is, and it can feel really daunting and scary at times. And but at least if you're able to build a good relationship with yourself, and you start to feel stronger, then right there you're building such resiliency to help you overcome whatever might come, and whatever unforeseen thing that may come your way. So just really focusing on making yourself feel strong for you, and have yourself know that you have your back, especially in these times.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mhm.
If someone is listening right now and they just need that what's the one thing that they could start other than contacting you immediately? What
Mhm.
could they start right now? What would you say if you could do one thing right now to get started? What would that one thing be?
To improve like their relationship with themselves.
And how
Uh-huh.
is that looking at
Uh,
your reflection? How
mhm.
would you, the first step?
I think the first thing I would say is to just stop, and just to like pause, and wherever you are, whether that's at work, or if you have the ability to be outside, go for a walk, just doing whatever helps you to calm down and to really like connect with yourself. Because a lot of times we're so busy, right, that we don't even remember what we need. And we forget, like, not let alone sometimes people forget to eat. So people forget what their heart wants
Me
all
all
the
the time.
time. So I would just say to stop and just be still, and in whatever way you can. But again, whether that if you're at work or driving, or finding an avenue where you're obviously safe to be still. And again, maybe that's through walking, just something that helps you connect with yourself. And I would say that's like the first thing. Like for me, an example is I love the outdoors, so sometimes I just need to go to a park, and to really connect with myself. So yeah, whatever that is for you and that helps you feel that, do that.
Great. That is great advice. And taking care of yourself is what makes you stronger in mentally, physically, emotionally. There's people that think, oh, if I take care of myself, I put myself first, it's somehow a selfish move. And I say, oh, no, no, quite the contrary. It actually is a move that will make you better as an entire whole of who you are. Not, and people need to look at that, in my opinion, self work and self-reflection and working on yourself and paying attention to yourself as anything other than selfish.
100%. Because if there's no you, then there's nothing, right? So,
yeah. You can only, again, like you said, we're only human. We can only go so far. So slow down, take a step back, take in the world, take in yourself. And, it's like a great nap, you feel better after. You start paying attention to yourself, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing how much the world around you just starts to change. The universe works in a crazy way, and it really does start to evolve differently, almost right in front of your eyes, when you start to do all the things that you talked about today.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
Oh my gosh. So I know you had talked about, you're there for mental health support, and you had mentioned one thing that we talked about. What is a Ccsd school?
Oh, so that's our school district here in Vegas. It's called Clark County School District. So so whenever we've done workshops, we'll go to different schools here in Vegas.
And I think that's great that you're offering to employers, you're offering yourself to the school district, because people are going through stuff at all ages. It does not discriminate. Life doesn't discriminate by age. So I, again, commend you and your team and your beautiful mindset to help everyone at every stage in life, whatever it is they're going through, that you're not just geared to speaking at, employee conferences. You're available to everybody, and that just makes you even more spectacular, Monica.
Thank you.
What's in your future? What else do you want to, I know you had mentioned some programs for children. I, again, reiterating that funding everybody. If you can help with the Love Yourself Foundation, Monica would really appreciate it. What else do you see coming?
That's the big thing right now, is we're really hoping to gear up funding to be able to produce more, because we have such a great team. And right now, including myself, all the work is 100% volunteers. So no one's getting paid, nothing like that. So the hope is that we've finally reached that next level. Usually it takes like nonprofits 4 or 5 years to start bringing in funding, to staff people. So that's really what's next for us now, is to really bring in that funding so we can increase our programming, that we can just do more, because we've already been able to do a lot with a little bit. So we're just so excited to see what more can do for us, so we can connect with more people and help more folks.
Yeah, to get this far, and it's the commitment of your heart. It's truly a commitment of your heart, because everybody's a volunteer, and that's so huge, Monica. So proud of this.
Thank you. Yeah.
I truly wish all the best for your organization, the Love Yourself Foundation, the events that you're doing, the podcast, the blog, everybody who benefits from your services and the help that you can provide, all of your volunteers, the schools that are helping you, the locations that are hosting your events that are helping you. I really am just so excited to tell people about this, because everybody deserves a great big pat on the back in a time where many people don't get it, and you deserve it. And I can't wait to share this with other viewers and listeners out there, that you do exist.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Oh gosh, I again want to thank you for being a guest on Shannon Confidential. You are truly an exceptional person with an exceptional team, and I'm already better for hearing what you had to say. I just thank you.
Aw, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you for doing what you're doing and helping people. I think podcasting I love it. And connecting with people in this way is powerful. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
You're very welcome. And please, when you get bigger, and you're huge all over the world. Please come back, talk to us. If a new event starts or anything, I will promote everything that you're doing to the best of my ability. You will always be welcome back. And thank you again for being on Shannon Confidential.
Thank you so much.